You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your Server Plus certification journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. Configuration errors are one of the most common causes of service failures and system instability in server environments. A single incorrect setting can prevent a service from starting, create silent errors, or result in unpredictable behavior during runtime. Many configuration problems go unnoticed until an update, reboot, or system change exposes them. The Server Plus certification includes the ability to detect, analyze, and resolve service and configuration failures to maintain system uptime and integrity. Services rely heavily on accurate and complete configuration. This includes correct syntax, valid paths, appropriate permissions, and aligned parameters across multiple layers. If even one of these dependencies is missing or incorrect, the service may crash, hang, or silently fail to perform its intended function. Over time, manual edits and undocumented changes cause configuration drift. This drift breaks consistency across servers and leads to support complexity. Technicians must understand how services depend on their environment to ensure reliable operation. The symptoms of a configuration failure vary by system and service. Services may fail to start, exit immediately after launch, or return vague errors such as missing resource or invalid directive. Logs may reveal syntax errors, incorrect paths, or missing modules. These symptoms often emerge after an operating system update, package upgrade, or manual edit to a configuration file. Without accurate logs, these failures may appear random or unrelated to their actual root cause. Logs are the most direct way to confirm a configuration issue. On Linux systems, examine system journal entries, the secure log, or the general message log. On Windows systems, use the event viewer and filter for service-specific errors or warnings. Look at the startup sequence of the service and search for clues such as failed module loads, permission-denied errors, or missing path references. The log is your map when diagnosing startup failures. Services often rely on specific files being present and accessible. These include executable binaries, configuration files, runtime sockets, or device files. If any of these components are missing or have been moved, the service will fail to start. Use tracing tools such as strace on Linux or Process Monitor on Windows to follow the service's file access behavior. Match these file access attempts against the actual file paths configured. Syntax errors in configuration files are another frequent source of service failure. Even one unclosed bracket, invalid character, or misplaced option can cause the service to exit. Always validate configuration syntax before reloading or restarting the service. Use built-in tools such as nginx test, Apache test, or named configuration check. Keep backup copies of configuration files before making changes to avoid introducing unrecoverable errors. File permissions and ownership must also be reviewed. A service may fail if it cannot read its own configuration file, write to its working directory, or access required resources. Use ls with long format on Linux or access control list tools on Windows to inspect permissions. Always apply the principle of least privilege while ensuring the service account has access to the resources it needs. Misapplied permissions are a silent cause of many startup failures. Service management tools help identify why a service failed to start. On Linux systems, use system control status, service command, or legacy init scripts to check the service's state and return code. On Windows, use the services console, the service control query command, or PowerShell to review the state and logs. Always examine service dependencies and required environment variables, as missing components at this layer often prevent startup. Bind failures and port conflicts are another cause of service failure. If a port is already in use by another service, a newly started service attempting to use the same port will fail silently or exit with an error. Use netstat ss or list open files to identify port usage. Adjust the bind address or port number in the configuration if a conflict exists. Do not attempt to force a bind to a port already in use without resolving the source of the conflict. Configuration drift occurs when servers gradually diverge from their intended configuration. This often results from manual edits, inconsistent deployments, or undocumented fixes. Use tools such as difference checkers, version control systems, or configuration management platforms to detect and correct drift. Establish a configuration baseline and routinely compare servers against it. Preventing drift ensures consistent behavior across environments. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Before making any changes to configuration files, always create a backup. This ensures that you can roll back immediately if the change causes failure or service disruption. Use a consistent naming convention that includes the date and time. Store backup copies in a secure and versioned location that is accessible during recovery. Never rely on memory or undo operations to reverse configuration changes. If a configuration change causes a service to break, revert to a known good configuration. Do not attempt to fix a broken file live in production without first restoring functionality. Use staging environments to test the original file and confirm that the service starts normally. After restoring, validate that all expected behaviors return. Reboot if necessary to ensure the fix is persistent across startup. Configuration templates and automation tools reduce the chance of human error. Use platforms such as Ansible, Puppet, or desired state configuration to deploy and manage service configurations. These tools enforce consistency, detect drift, and eliminate guesswork during recovery. Templates allow changes to be tested once and applied across multiple systems with confidence. This approach also accelerates rebuilds and improves auditability. Some services require minimum system resources to operate correctly. If memory, processor, or disk resources fall below threshold, the service may hang or crash. Logs may include warnings about out-of-memory conditions, unavailable file handles, or low disk space. Monitor these metrics with system tools and proactively allocate resources. Ensure limits are properly configured in service files or control groups. Many services support running in debug mode for diagnosis. In this mode, the service prints extended error messages, dependency chains, or configuration details to the console or log. Use this mode selectively and only in non-production environments, unless directed otherwise by the vendor. Debug output often reveals the exact point of failure and allows faster resolution than standard logging. Technicians must be trained in how layered configuration files behave. Some services use default files, local overrides, and environment-specific settings. These files may have a specific order of precedence that determines which values are used. Misplaced or duplicate entries may override intended behavior silently. Use schema validation tools or configuration linter utilities when available to confirm proper file structure. Maintaining a centralized repository of configuration files improves collaboration and troubleshooting. Version control systems such as Git track every change and allow historical comparison. Store all baseline configurations, change histories, and staging versions in the repository. Access should be role-based, and all updates should be subject to peer review. This practice supports audit trails and post-incident reviews. In conclusion, server services rely on accurate and consistent configuration. Failures in configuration are often preventable, but can create outages just as severe as hardware failure. Always validate syntax, manage permissions, track changes, and test in staging. The next episode focuses on common network-level problems, including addressing issues with dynamic host configuration protocol, domain name system, and routing configurations. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.